Hello, everybody. What is going on? Turn that down a little bit. That's a little too loud, huh? What's going on, everybody? Brad here from the PDH Pod with another Saturday Deck Tech. Let's talk about decks, baby. This week, I am going to talk about Bear's Companion. The only team or commander we really have that's really playable, or we really have. And at its core, Bear's Companion has always been sort of a meme commander, a meme deck, if you will, but it's slightly, silently powerful. It's teamer, so you can take it in multiple different ways. You can build it as an aggro deck. You can build it as, my original version was like a pingers deck with Thermo Alchemist and Firebrand Archer and all this crazy stuff. But what we landed on, I sort of took cues from Lobert here. Check out his content. It's great. Is more of a just teamer value deck, heavily focusing on flickers to get more bears, draw more cards, drive yourself further into the Undercity. I think my deck, as opposed to Robert's, focuses more on the Undercity, but regardless, it's an awesome value pile. It's something great. It's super fun. It never plays the same way twice, which is something I really, really enjoy. Especially being a 3-color deck, it's kind of hard to get variety that way. You're either usually sort of mana screwed, mana flooded, you're having trouble hitting your colors, that sort of thing. But this one's pretty streamlined. It's pretty linear, or not linear. It's pretty smooth as far as the mana base goes. So if you like flicker decks, maybe you like Bear's Companion. Let's jump right in. All right, obviously the commander, Bear's Companion, from the default here is Double Masters, but KTK, Kanza here version. It's just 2 and a teamer for 2/2 human warrior. When it ETBs, you get a 4/4 green bear creature token. Great. Those bears are awesome. They're very imposing when you can just stack them up and you're getting them for free. So awesome. It makes an amazing ETB commander. You don't care if Bear's Companion dies because you want to recast it anyway. So it's a great chump blocker. It doesn't do a lot of damage on its own, but it's a nice body to have on the field. You can bounce it, you can flicker it, you can sit it back to the command zone if it dies, etc., etc. Like I mentioned earlier, my deck tends to focus a little harder on the initiative, I think, than Lobert's current version does. But let's start with the creature package. I'm running a pretty modest 19 creatures total. First one up is Aarakocra Sneak. Give me some initiative. In a flicker deck, you cannot go wrong with initiative creatures. So Archaeomancer to get me back those important flicker spells, a removal spell, draw spell, that sort of thing. We all know it. We all love it. It's a combo enabler. I do not run combos in my version. It would be easy to swap out 2 or 3 cards for some sort of Drake Archaeomancer flicker package if you wanted to. You could Secret Door, you could mill them out, or you could trap them to death, that sort of thing. You could mill them out with Sage Road, Denizen, etc. So we all know the Drake combos. We love them. Second up, Ardent Elementalist. Get you another instant or sorcery, but this time in red instead of blue. Augury Owl is an amazing flyer. It's a 1/1 flyer for 2 that ETBs and scries 3. That is a lot of digging when you're in a 3-color deck. That is huge. It's very, very helpful. Avenging Hunter. There we go. There's the green initiative. 5/4 trample. Beautiful. Boarding Party, we know it, we love it. Cascade, it's like a haste and cascade. It's a 6/3, and it's a 6 mana value creature. So hopefully you can cascade into one of your removal spells, one of your draw spells, that sort of thing. After that, Cloudfin Raptor. I like this. I'm still sort of on the fence of whether or not I want to keep this in the deck. I like it if you can draw it turns 1 to 3. Because then, later in the game, you'll end up with a 6/7 flying for 1 mana, that sort of thing. If you draw this on turn 8, it feels kind of bad. Although, if you can reliably make your bears, then Raptor can get pretty big. But early turns, early games, excellent. It's a flying creature for 1 mana. Can't go wrong there. Cloudkin Seer. It's a staple in most of my blue flicker decks. Blue X flicker decks. ETB draws a card. It's a flying 2/1 elemental wizard. Drift the Phantasms. Like I said, I don't run combos, but if I absolutely need something, I can transmute it for 3. Elvish Visionary, ETB draw a card in green. Great. Experiment 1. Same thing as the Cloudfin Raptor. It's just a 1-drop that evolves. It's a 1/1 for 1 that evolves, and you remove 2 +1/+1 counters to regenerate it. So it's a good creature in combat if it's big enough, that sort of thing. Llanowar Visionary, just a beefy Elvish Visionary, 2/2 ETB, draw a card, great with Flicker. Hello. Masked Vandal, also great with Flicker. It is a shapeshifter changeling. When it ETBs, you can exile a creature card from the graveyard. If you do, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Excellent if you're... It never doesn't come in handy. I know kind of the joke is that I've never destroyed anything with Masked Vandal, but mine hits pretty well. You know, even if you got to destroy a treasure or, you know, something silly, it's not bad. It's good value. Maria's Outriders. This is one that I've had a lot of fun with, and it's not super hard to get online. I'll show you once we get into the mana base and the ramp package, but it's from Dominaria United. It's a 4/4 for 5 with reach, which is very nice. And when it ETBs, it deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of basic land types you control. So domain, basically. And this is awesome in a Flicker deck. If you can drop this for 5, do 3 to everybody, Flicker it once or twice, you know, you're sitting pretty. Mall Drifter, I don't need to talk about that. It's awesome in a Flicker deck. Ornithopter Paradise, the Flyer, Mana Fixer. You know, it's a dork. Seagate Oracle also helps you dig a little bit, puts an extra card in your hand. Spring Bloom Druid. This is one of my... I've been pretty high on this card lately. Basically for the ramp. Sure, you got to sacrifice a land, but you get 2. Nothing wrong with that. And it's a body. It's a 1/1. Sword Coast Serpent. You know it. You love it. It bounces a creature back to your hand. It bounces an important creature to your opponent's hand. And then also, since we have so many instants and sorceries in this deck, it is often a 6/6 unblockable creature. Sorcery, let's get into some ramp. All right, we got Cultivate. You know, you love it. Farseek, Flame Slash. This Flame Slash is very much a flex spot. I could be talked into just about any other card here. So if you have any options, hit me up. Flame Slash is fine. 4 damage to target creature. That's okay. It's not ideal. I really like the card. It's not necessarily a pet card. I just feel like a lot of times in red, if I'm in red, I want to play Flame Slash and that's it. But I could be talked into, this could be a Rolling Thunder or the new Fire Prophecy, that sort of thing. Into the north, this gets the Snowlands that are in the deck. Nature's Lore, more ramp, Preordain, helps you dig a little bit, fix the top of your deck. Savage Swipe is a good removal spell. Treasure Cruise, obviously, we love it. Our graveyard is going to be full, so often drawing 3 for 1 is not bad. All right, 21 instants. We have more instants than creatures. Starting off with a Braid for those pesky artifacts, those pesky creatures, etc. Arcane Denial is nice tempo, nice stack interaction, and it lets everybody draw a card. Behold the Multiverse is one of the better blue draw spells in the format. Blur, I absolutely love this card. 2 and a blue. You flicker a creature and you draw a card. Nothing like spending 3 mana to make another bear and draw a card. It's awesome. Display sort of does the same thing, except you don't draw a card. Fiery Cannonade for all those pesky little creatures, those go wide decks, the tokens, etc. You'll see Flicker, obviously. Heated Debate it's really good in a competitive pod, at a competitive table. It's 3 mana. This spell can't be countered, and it deals 4 damage to target creature, or planeswalker, or target creature. So it's good. It's a removal spell that can't be countered. I think that I could also flex this out to something else. This and Flame Slash could totally be other cards. So if you got any comments, any ideas, let me know. Into the Royal, it's a good tempo spell, protection spell. If you need another ETB, if you want to, attack to get the initiative from an opponent, and then into the Royal, your sneak, cast it again, get a double dip on the initiative. Great. Moment's Peace. This deck can... No, wait. Let me rephrase that. It's not that it can be slow. This deck is slow. It's great once you get all your rocks and all your ramp and everything. You establish your board state. It is amazing. But getting there, it is very slow. So things like, Moment's Peace is absolutely great for protecting you in a couple combat phases. Negate, it's great. This is one of my favorite counter spells. It's any target non-creature spell, and that's generally what the problems are that you're going to face. Oubliettes and things of that nature. Planar Incision, another flicker spell from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, and it comes in with a +1/+1 counter. Also Marasa. This, I will admit, this is definitely a pet card. I played a lot of this card in 60-card Pauper, so just gains you 6 life, not just, but it gains you 6 life, and you get a target creature or land card from your graveyard. I could see Pulse of Marasa, Heated Debate, or even Flame Slash being something like a Scare Tiller, maybe Duo Drone, Howling Golem, one of the Trinity, that sort of thing. That's great. Runaway Together hits 2 different creatures, bounces them. Scred, this is one that has come in very, very handy. It's great. 1 mana, destroy any creature, basically, in red. Snakeskin Veil, if you need it, it'll protect your commander. If you need it to protect, your initiative creature, anything. It's just a great protection spell. Same with Tamiyo Safekeeping, but this targets any permanent. So if they're trying to get rid of your Bonder's Ornament or your Spider Silk Armor or things of that nature, you can protect it. Nefarious Time Twist is one of the better flicker spells we have in the format. This also hits any permanent, so keep that in mind. You can flicker anything as protection or flicker a creature, and it comes back in with a +1/+1 counter. Thrill of Possibility, this is just a decent red draw spell. I could totally see this being Reckless Impulse or Ren's Resolve even. I'm not opposed to either of those. It's just this this one's just sort of been grandfathered into the deck. So it is an instant, which is nice, but it could totally be any other 2-mana draw spell. Turn aside, I do like this one quite a bit because the Bear's Companion and your bears themselves become quite the threat, so people are going to try to remove them. Turn aside, counter target spell that targets a permanent you control. If they try to blow up, once again, your Spider Silk Armor in this deck is amazing because it gives all your bears reach. So if anyone tries to blow that up, you turn it aside. Vines of Vastwood, combat trick. It's a combo stopper, that sort of thing. Everybody knows Vines. It's great. Most of these cards in this deck, you're gonna know. You're gonna know them right off the top of your head. You're gonna know what they do. You're gonna know how to play them. Like I said, this is more of a teamer value / flicker pile. So there's nothing shocking. There's no like deep tech, deep cuts, hidden treasures in this deck. So our artifacts, we got a 9. Let's see. 9 rocks in this little package here. We got an Arcane Signet, Arkham's Astrolabe, Bonder's Ornament, Commander Sphere, Felwar Stone, Honored Heirloom, Lantern of Revealing, Mind Stone, and Star Compass. And then we get to the enchantments. I'm still not totally sold on Abundant Growth. I like the fact that it obviously ETBs, draws a card, fixes your mana, but it can be hit. I mean, it's pretty niche, pretty corner case, but it can be hit with Teferi's Time Twist in the absolute pinch, the absolute worst case scenario that you need to draw an extra card. Candlekeep Sage. Don't play a flicker deck that cares about your commander without Candlekeep Sage. It is wild. Once this gets online, if you're flickering Bear's Companion once on your turn and then once on one of your opponent's turn, I mean, you're looking at drawing 4 cards, creating a couple bears every single turn cycle, and that just gets completely out of hand. Lignify takes care of those problematic commanders or creatures. Rancor, slap it on any creature if you need to get in some extra points of damage, etc. We all know it. We love it. Shiny Impetus, I'm just a fan of this card. I don't know how good it actually is in this particular deck, but it's 2 in a red for a enchant creature. Enchant creature gets +2/+2 and is goaded. Whenever it attacks, you create a treasure token. It's from CLB, or this one's from, I guess, the Theros or whatever, but it's fun. It's good. You can throw it on one of your own creatures. Either way, you're going to get a treasure token, and that's any way that you can go about fixing this deck's mana is amazing. That's why I said earlier, maybe Heated Debate or Heated Debate or Flame Slash could be Marching Duodrone. Get you those treasures, fix that mana a little bit. And then one of the absolute all-stars in this entire deck is Spider Silk Armor. It's 2 and a green for an enchantment. Creatures you control get +0/+1, and basically they have reach. That is, you'll hear a collective sigh from the table, a collective groan from the table when you resolve this spell, because it's basically, oh, now I have, if you had 4 bears on board, now they're all 4/5s that can block creatures with flying. So it gets pretty ridiculous. I don't know of a card in our format that makes me feel more safe than when I cast Spider Silk Armor, because you're protected. You're protected in the air. You're protected on the ground. This doesn't say, oh, when you don't have any creatures, you have to destroy Spider Silk Armor. No, it's just always there until they can blow it up. And it's an enchantment, so it's going to be a little difficult for them to deal with. And then we just have a bunch of lands, a whole land pile. We have 36 of them to be exact. We have Cabaret Courtyard, Cliffgate. I don't run the gate package. I think I put these in here originally just because I can pick the other color. Sure, these could be the Thriving Isle. If you wanted to get a little bit riskier, you could use the dual tapped lands from Dominaria. Those are great, but you don't get to choose the other color, so you kind of have to be wary of that. Although some of the ramp spells will fetch those Dominaria duels, so 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But you could easily throw in Basilisk Gate and a couple Guild Gates and do a whole gate package as well and just smash in with some bears. Man Tower, Evolving Wilds, Highland Forest, the dual Snowland, Maestro's Theater, Manor Gate, Opal Palace, Path of Ancestry, Rimewood Falls, Seagate, stack of basic snowlands, forest, islands, mountains, a study hall, and a Takasha's Dig site. So this is really straightforward. I didn't expect anything to be groundbreaking here. Every card in this deck, I don't expect anyone to not know what they are. It's just, like I said, it's a gigantic teamer value pile. It's super fun to play. It never plays the same way twice. If you like flickering things and blowing things up and attacking with giant creatures, like this is probably the deck for you. And it's super, I don't know if it's totally like a toolboxy deck per se, but it is extremely customizable. Everyone I've talked to, I mean, Dave has a teamer Bear's Companion deck that's just like Bear Tribal. Everyone that I've talked to that has built Bear's Companion as a deck has built it a little differently, and I think that's awesome. I think that's the sign of a very good commander, a very fun commander, something that leads to different games. And like I said, with it being so customizable, almost toolbox style, if I, for some reason, if I wanted to take this deck into a competitive pod, I could switch out like 2 cards and boom, I have a combo. Or I could switch out 4 cards and put in a backup combo, all that sort of thing. Or I could switch out Flame Slash for another counter spell and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of potential here, a lot of possibilities. Give it a try sometime. It's super fun. Don't expect to win quickly. This deck is going to take a while. Every time I've played it or against it, I mean, we're usually deep into the teens on turns, like 13, 14, 17 before. I think we went around or turned 21 once back in the day. So, but it is a hell of a good time. Consider it, play it, and I think you'll be impressed. If you have any options, any tips, any upgrades for what I already have in here, put them in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter at Pauper_B. Hop in the PDH Pod Discord, get on our Patreon, all that good stuff. We are literally the PDH Pod everywhere that you find content. So hit us up. Hit me up with some cards, some ideas, and I will talk to you in about a week.